Racing, it's not about the race, it's about the trip. I mean, the trip is fabulous. Going down there and living in Mexico for 2 weeks is really a fun adventure. But a Z in Mexico might as well be a Ferrari because they've never seen one before. It's a little different when you go to Mexico in a Z. It's definitely more of a competitor to the 911. Really fortunate to come from a racing family. For example, when I got married, I met my wife. I picked her up hitchhiking when I was in Europe racing motorcycles. So it was, perfect. So she kind of knew what she was getting when she met me. My name is Taz Harvey, and I'm driving a 1972 Datsun 240Z. Carrera was a complete surprise to me. When a friend of mine, we were at an auto auction and he said, "Hey, I'm going to Mexico, I'm gonna race La Carrera." And I go, "Really, what are you gonna race it in?" And he says, "I found a 911 Porsche and I'm building it right now." I thought, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. And lo and behold, I'd always thought about rally driving would be cool. And at the time I was a Nissan dealer. And so I thought, wow, natural progression, I gotta go get a 510. So I made a couple phone calls and I found my friend Larry Oka, who is one of the 510 gurus of Northern California here. I bought one of his last 510s, and that car kind of launched me into my 510 craze. I always liked Datsuns, I'm not sure why. So when I decided to do my next rally car after the 510, the natural progression was the Z. This particular car got traded in at my dealership, and I was looking out my window and I was like, wow, that looks kind of a cool car. So I came downstairs and they were trying to take it in on trade on a used pickup. So I was like, wow, this is a cool car. And he's like, yeah, this is I'm the second owner and this car was sold in Menlo Park, blah, blah. He's telling me about it. And I'm like, but it's an automatic, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, everybody says that. And I said, well, I still want the car. So we ended up making a deal with the guy. He drove away in his used pickup, and I parked this Z, kind of parked it out back. And I was like, someday I'll take on that project. About the second year into running the 510, I started thinking, hey, we want to go faster. The only thing we're really lacking is top speed. So talking with Rudy, my co-driver, he's like, yeah, Z's a great car. Those things kick ass in rally. Let's build one. So I took the car and stripped it, dunked it, and took every scrap of paint off of it and built it into a race car. When I'm walking up to the car, I always remember, the Z, okay, I remember this, click, 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 everything falls into place. And I just have that muscle memory of what to do in that car. So I just get that seat of your pants feel on the personality of each car you get into. When you get in the Z, it has a little bit more of a rocket feeling to it. It definitely has more acceleration. On the 510, you could pedal the car really hard. It had more grip than horsepower. This car has about 220 horsepower at the wheels. For 2,400 pounds, it gets with the program pretty good. Top speed-wise, not that fast. It's geared to run out of gear at about 130. But the way I set the car up, it turns really well. It's designed to turn in good. It's designed to be more of a race car than a street car. So on crowned roads in Mexico, when you're going 100 miles an hour, you're constantly putting in steering input. So that's what makes it so exciting. I mean, you're really going fast. Well, vintage racing is way more low-key than pro racing. You know, professional racing, you know, to me, there was a ton of pressure. When you go vintage racing, everybody's your friend. They're like trying to help you, and here, have a beer. Oh, I got an extra beer, here, have one. You know, it's all so much more low-key, and the people that you meet, especially in Mexico, have all been such good people trying to help you. The La Carrera Panamericana started back in the 50s. And in the 50s, it was to promote the Pan American Highway. So it started all the way down in Tuxtlan Terrace, which is the land of the Mayan pyramids and middle of the jungle, basically. And it ran all the way up the middle of Mexico, all the way to Laredo, Texas. And it progressed bigger and bigger and bigger. After that first year, we really got enthused about, hey, this is a race that has sections for everybody. It has sections for big cars, it has sections for small cars. You know, racing for us over the years, it's always been about the trip. The race is nice, but we look forward to the trip so much. We prepare, you know, between the driver training, the drivers having to go out and test and practice and get everything dialed into the car. That's fun. So it's about the trip. It's the race itself. Once you get there, you better have your shit together once you go there. The planning for the trip is what really separates a good race team from someone that's always chasing their tail. A good race team, if they're not ready to go 2 weeks before the race starts, you know, they're sunk.